I have created darkness. As I have created darkness, I have created light. As I created happiness, I will create suffering. As I create suffering, I will create happiness again, because it is natural balance. And living in this balance of papa, punya, darkness, lightness, or good and evil, all this is continuously a vicious cycle, and as our mind judges everything as good and bad, we are suffering. Now, why our mind judges everything good and bad, we have to first understand. Now, let me come to the original topic of Shri Vidya. It was said that once upon a time, when nothing, the universe did not exist, there was absolutely nothing. You understand? There was absolute nothing. In that absolute nothingness, there was actually nothing. But then, there was one quality for this absolute nothingness called nada. Am I clear with this? Nada. And this nada, that is the reason why a yogi, when he meditates and when he enters into a state of static stillness, people say that yogis do hear a nada of oh, and then they don't hear the m sound, om. They continuously listen, oh, and it goes on, goes on, goes on, and it never ends to om. Am I clear with you? This we need to understand. Now, this absolute emptiness, when it was there was first quality of sound to it. And it was eternal, it was eternal, it was eternal. Once it started finding that sound, once it started finding itself, it wanted to expand itself, people say, in Sanatana Dharma. Now, why all this? We will explain it in another fashion. Now, when this sound oh was there, it was just there and it never bothered to actually complete itself. Oh was running. Now, when there is absolute emptiness, why universe got created is the point that we are trying to, and why this connection between universe and Sri Chakra, and why we are meditating on Shri Vidya. All this we need to understand, so I am talking all this. Are we in same page? You are able to understand? So, I am trying to be very slow while explaining this, because the concept is a very tricky concept. Now, as there was oh continuing, this space which had nothing and absolute nothing, but it also had one quality of nada to it. Now, where there was a quality, suddenly the quality appeared or not? In absolute nothingness, it cannot stay in absolute nothingness. There was an attribute to it, oh, nada to it. Now, when the attribute of nada has come, there was a differentiation before the nada, after the nada, during the nada. Yes or no? Now, this nada is oh continuing, and this nada is before the nada, after the nada, and nada. Now, before the nada and after the nada, nobody has seen, because as far as this oh, the only attribute of that absolute nothingness knows, it only knows itself. Once the oh, see, there is nothing, and oh is there. Now this oh realizes, I am running, oh, I am running like this, but before me something should have been there, and after me something should have been there, and I am running, oh. Yes or no? Now, there was division between three things. One is, I am running, before me and after me, to this oh. Once it started to differentiate its own existence into three things, you understand? This differentiation of this quality of oh running has divided into its predecessor and its future, and then its existence, it divided into a scalar quantity to, it fell down from a scalar quantity to a vector quantity, having present and past, having future, past and then present, and then having a direction to it, because I am running, oh, I am running. And then it had before and after, so there happened an x-axis, y-axis formation, and there was this scalar quantity. Once it happened, it actually realized, oh, so I am continuously running, and so I want to experience myself in oh, and then it happened, sound appeared. How it appeared is a scientific reasoning that we need to first meditate, practically explain, understand, and then get to the point. So why am I saying this is, in Bindu Nada, first they say there was absolute nothing, the Para Bindu Avastha. From the Bindu Avastha, this absolute sound principle appeared, because there is no, even if you keep complete absolute vacuum cannot be created, only because in absolute vacuum too there is sound. Yes or no? So there is existence in vacuum also. That is what scientists actually accept. Now the problem is, why there is existence of the sound? Now this sound continuously runs, and this sound, as it continuously runs, it is called the absolute negation of existence. Emptiness is the Parabindu Avastha, from which the Bindu has come, and as it started flowing, it realized its own existence, and as it realized its own existence, it realized before its existence, after its existence, and its existence. It formed a triangular activity into its own self. Now this O wanted to manifest itself into its own structure. In Sanatana Dharma they say, the Bindu, the Tripura Sundari wanted, the Bindu was there and it created a Spanda, they say, and from that Spanda, this Trikona, Maha Trikona appeared, they say. Now how this Spanda appeared is what we are actually talking about, and this whole sadhana of 4 days that you are about to is trying to dedicate yourself to that split. From the Bindu, how you have split and fell into a triangle. Now how you fall into triangle and what is the importance of triangle, we need to first clearly understand. So that understanding, the split from absolute Bindu Avastha to the triangle, is what the Sanmarga sadhana is all about.